Bob Heilig here, your virtual upline. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 books that I guarantee you most of you have never heard of, but I believe every single network marketer needs to read. Okay, so let's get into the 10 books. Now, I will say this is in no particular order. Each one of them, I think, is as impactful as the next. The first book I'm going to share with you is a small read, but it is without a doubt one of the greatest books that I have ever read in my life. It is called Man's Search for Meaning. The author of this book, Viktor Frankl, wrote this small little book after his experience spending 10 years in a Nazi concentration camp. And I'll tell you, my biggest takeaway from this book, one of the concepts that he shares is this. You have stimulus, which is what happens to us in life, and then you have response, which is the way we respond to the things that happen to us. And what Viktor Frankl shares with us is that you literally create your life in the space that exists between those two things. And he talks about how from the stimulus side, he was subjected to conditions that most men will never know in their lifetime, some of the worst ever, and how he mastered his response and was able to stay alive and get through that terrible experience when most millions of other people were not. But this book will literally change your life. It is a small, easy read. That's number one. Book number two. This book is one of the key things that shaped my philosophy that I teach today, called Legacy Leadership. And the book is A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. Now, you might be thinking, A Return to Love? That doesn't sound like a traditional business book, Bob. What are you sharing with us here? Well, it isn't. And that's why I love it. What I have found in my business and my life, and I talk to all of you about this a lot, there are very few things you will do in your lifetime that will transform your life more than putting love at the center of it. And that includes your business. And what I loved about this book is that it really talks about how sometimes our deepest fears are actually things that we need to follow, that sometimes our deepest fears are actually will help reveal to us the greatest gifts that we have inside of us. And this is a completely different mindset and philosophy. It's choosing love over ego and fear and scarcity. Like a lot of people in this profession, it's very easy for them to fall victim of those things. So this is one of the foundational books that has shaped my entire philosophy that I teach today when it comes to network marketing. So highly recommend it. The next book is a leadership book. This one's a little bit of a challenging read. I will say it's kind of thick, which sometimes scares me, but it is one of the most comprehensive guides on leadership that I've ever read. And the name of the book is called The Leadership Challenge. This one has been around for a while, but I'll tell you what I really pulled from this. This is one of the most comprehensive guides on leadership that I've ever read. And remind you, I'm trying to give you ones that, not the normal John Maxwell leadership, which obviously we all love John Maxwell, but I'm trying to give you ones that maybe you haven't heard of before. Here's what I loved about this book. Talks a lot about servant leadership. I truly believe that the secret to success is to be a servant leader in the network marketing profession, not a self-serving leader like so many people fall victim of. And I think this is one of the best guides ever written on servant leadership. So the Leadership Challenge, check it out. Next one is also a leadership book. We are up to book number 4. This is one of my favorite books on leadership that I've ever read. It is called Boundaries for Leaders by Dr. Henry Cloud. I'll tell you why this resonated so much with me. If you are someone that really struggles in your business with holding other people accountable, with implementing things like systems, right? The tough love part of leadership that a lot of us resist, this book will present an argument from a psychological, like human biology, understanding the way the human brain works, that these things not only are important, they are actually necessary for human beings to achieve. If you are not providing boundaries and holding people accountable and challenging them, all those things that you're resisting, if you're not doing that, you are failing people as a leader. This book right here is one of, I think, the best books that a network marketing leader could ever read. So definitely check this one out. The next book is a mindset book. And I'm actually, if I'm honest, I'm currently reading this one. And man, oh man, am I telling you, I'm blown away. Now, this is also a big one, and it's at times a little bit of a tough read because it gets really into the nitty-gritty of the inner game of success. But it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And this book right here talks a lot about, and you've heard me talk a lot about this, identity and the power of your thoughts. And the thing that I've really been pulling away from this is that what a lot of us do, and this is the thing that keeps us stuck, is we limit what we believe to be possible for ourselves based off of our current circumstances. So we look at what we see around us and we form these limiting beliefs that who am I to achieve great things? Look at all these things like I'm not successful, I don't have a big check, I don't have this, that. And we determine what we think is possible based off of what we see. And what we don't realize is that if you do that, you are literally creating a future based upon your past. Because what I learned from this book, and this is a life-changing concept, is that your current circumstances are actually evidence of your past thinking. The thoughts you thought yesterday, the beliefs you had yesterday about you and your business are what created your reality today. Here's the key. Change your thoughts. If you can learn how to change your thinking, if you can learn how to change your stories and beliefs, you are literally already in the process of creating a new and a different future. And it goes really deep into this. So those of you that geek out on the mindset stuff, you got to check this out. But Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, this book will change your life. All right, next up. Now we're going to get into customer service. All right, so I'm really going all different directions with this. Now, in my own personal business, right, in the work that we do with our membership programs and all this different stuff, this was a game changer for us. The name of the book is called Never Lose a Customer Again. So here's where this can help you. Onboarding and customer retention and retention of the members on your team. If you are looking to be better with retention, this is the best book ever written to help you in that area. The actionable concepts in this book are life-changing when it comes to keeping customers longer, not just having customers, but creating lifelong clients, not just recruiting people and signing them up, but actually turning them into leaders and people that are lifers in your organization. This book right here is literally worth its weight in gold. Okay, so we've got a couple more here. All right, now I don't have the book because I have the ebook, so I printed up a copy of it. But my next book is called Virtual Freedom. Listen, looking back, if there's one piece of advice that I could give myself starting out, is this. Bob, this is me giving myself advice. Bob, you should have outsourced way earlier in your business. Look, if I would have understood how easy and inexpensive it is to outsource administrative tasks in your business, and I'm talking to a lot of you leaders that are a little bit more successful, that are still managing all of the administrative tasks of your business. You're still doing all your social media work. Look, outsourcing will change your life. Listen, it's not freedom if you're financially free, but you don't have time freedom. Virtual Freedom is the guide on how to start using virtual assistants, where to find them, how to hire them, and how to work with them. Highly recommend this book. All right, so we've only got 3 left, and I've saved the last 3 books are network marketing books. So these are specific network marketing books, but these are oldies but goodies. And I'm going to share these 3 with you. And what to me is what's really interesting is I'm recommending some of these books literally one of them I think it's like 30 years after it was written. But it's interesting to me how what I see happening in this profession is things are coming full circle. Right? Social media obviously has changed network marketing, and it's as relevant today as it's ever been. And it is still the most important tool you will ever have in your business. But a lot of you are already waking up to the fact that it's not the good old days of 5 years ago. You can't post and pray, hey God, send me a rep, send me a customer. Those days are over, right? We're coming full circle and we're getting back to the hard work of leadership and mindset and like what it actually takes to build a successful business. And I'll tell you, that's a really good thing. Some of you have been hiding behind your computer and Facebook, and you haven't been growing and developing as a leader and as a person in your business. These 3 books I'm going to recommend to you will help you in that area. The first one is called Dare to Dream and Work to Win. This is, I don't even know when this thing was written, but it's old, but I'm telling you, it is the concepts that are talked about in here for a lot of you. You've never heard these kind of conversations, had about what it takes to build a successful network marketing business. And the thing that I've always learned is that when we look back, we can pull such wisdom from the past. And then what we have to ask ourselves is we read a book like this, and the Facebook probably didn't even exist when this thing was written. So we read a book like this and we don't take it all at face value, but we say, what can we pull? What concepts and wisdom and lessons, like core fundamental tenets of success, what can we pull from this book and apply to our business today? So this one here, really good. I mean, I highlighted half of this book, right? So super, super powerful. The next book, this is the first book I ever read when I joined network marketing, and it is aptly called Your First Year in Network Marketing. It is by Mark Yarnell. This is a big book. This is easily 30 years old, but I'm telling you, it is as relevant today as it has ever been. Now, probably some of you have heard of this, but there are things in here that you will just be shaking your head like, it makes so much sense, I never thought about that. So definitely check out Your First Year in Network Marketing. And the 10th and the last book, and I saved probably one of my favorites for last. This gentleman was in the first network marketing company that I ever joined. He was one of my first ever mentors. Now, I wasn't in his downline, but he was the guy that every single time he got on stage and talked, everyone in the whole convention, I bet you if you ask them, what's the thing you're looking forward to most? It's when George speaks. And he was the kind of guy that when he got on stage, he seemed like he was 7 feet tall, white hair, he used to wear white suits. And I just remember literally, he's the kind of guy that like wisdom just oozed out of every pore. And and he barely ever really talked about like building network marketing. It was all about the psychology of success. And I just remember every time I would hear him talk, I would literally be ready to run through a wall. And he has a book. A lot of you have probably never heard of him. His name is George Zalicki. And the name of the book is Network Marketing Straight Talk. And I'm telling you, if you want like a no BS, no hype, straight to the point, tell it like it is guide to the psychology of success in this profession, this book is pure gold. And this holds a special place in my heart because, in my early days of being in this profession, struggling those first couple of years, wondering if I could ever make this thing work, am I good enough? I saw all these other people having success. These were the types of things that kept me in the game. The motivation and the inspiration that I got from people like George. So definitely check that out. But those are my 10 books. So hey, listen, do me a favor. Do you have some that aren't on this list that you think are a must for network marketers that you don't think most people have heard of? I'd love to hear from you. Hey, leave me a comment. Let me know what your, top 3 or top 5 are. And if there's anybody that you think could get value from this video, feel free to share it with them and leave me a comment and let me know if you got value. So as always, thanks. Bob Heilig here, your virtual upline.